call this meeting to order for February 9th, 2021, Pittsburgh City Commission meeting. Will you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm going to open it to public input. I see Pete Mayo. Would you come forward and give us a prayer?
Yes, thank you. Let us pray. Blessed are you, Lord our God Most High. You call us to be stewards of the common good. Please bless our commission and its meeting, the city of Pittsburgh and its residents. Protect us from dangers of weather and disease. May your will be done this evening and always as the city of Pittsburgh moves forward together. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thanks, Pete. Is there anyone else that would like to speak in public input? Seeing none, I close. Oh, go ahead.
How about I have public input. I don't want to speak as a city councilman. So my name's Larry Fields. I live at 1704 North Locust Street in Pittsburgh. I had the opportunity to use the kiosk that's on the south end of the city hall a couple of days ago. I get more water bills than I like, but so I tried it. But the system is it's a drive-through for the citizens that haven't used it, and COVID's out here, and you don't want to come into City Hall and pay your bills, because there's still a lot of people when I talk to the city that pay with cash, come and pay on themselves. But they can use that kiosk. You can pay with a check, a credit card, a debit card. You'll even take cash. It won't take an IOU, so try that. But it's bilingual. It's in Spanish and English. It's 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. It's a real nice system. My understanding is that staff researched that and IT helped put it in. It was installed. It works. Even I could follow the instructions. Plenty of cameras, plenty of lights. You're next to the police station and City Hall. It's safe. It's secure. And it's I think it was around $40,000, and it was reimbursable as I recall. So it's a real nice system. So if the citizens haven't used that, that's a really nice setup, and it's really 365 days a year you can use that. A lot of people that work nights and things can't get here to pay their bills. That's a nice setup. So good job to the staff and those that found that, and it actually works. So good job to whoever all involved in that. Thank you.
Anyone else would like to speak at public input? Seeing none, I close public input and move on to fiscal year 2019 CAFR Award Acknowledgement.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Each year, the city prepares a comprehensive annual financial report during our audit process. Kansas statute only requires a basic audit, but we go above that and do a CAFR, so we take the additional steps. And what that allows us to do is to be transparent and show our true picture of our financial position in the city. And when we go out for bonds, that helps us get the best interest rate for those. And this is our 24th year. So we just wanted to let you know that we got that here.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Good job. Moving to the consent agenda, are there any items to be removed for discussion? Seeing none, I'll move to the consent agenda. Item A, approval of January 26, 2021 City Commission meeting minutes. Item B, approval of request submitted by Angie Hadley, Program Coordinator for the Restorative Justice Authority of Crawford County, to appoint Bill Howe to a first 3-year term as a member of a Juvenile Correction Advisory Board. Item C, approval of staff request to declare certain city assets as surplus and authorize staff to dispose of said assets through the online auctioning services of Purple Wave, Inc. Item D, approval of recommendation of Economic Development Advisory Committee to grant a 2021 tax abatement renewal to Mellors, Inc., docket number 2013-5552-EDX. Item E, approval of recommendation of the Economic Development Advisory Committee to grant a 2021 tax abatement renewal to Mellors Inc., docket number 2016-2286-EDX. Item F, approval of recommendation of Economic Development Advisory Committee to grant a 2021 tax abatement renewal to Mellors Inc., docket number 2017-833-EDX. Item G, approval of a recommendation of Economic Development Advisory Committee to grant a 2021 tax abatement renewal to Pinnamontes Physical Therapy, docket number 2015-1858-IRBX. Item H, approval of recommendation of Economic Development Advisory Committee to grant a 2021 tax abatement renewal to Kendall Packaging Corporation, docket number 2018-334 IRBX. Item I, approval of recommendation of Economic Development Advisory Committee to grant a 2021 tax abatement renewal to Dharma Properties LLC, docket number 2018-595-IRBX. J, approval of recommendation of Economic Development Advisory Committee to grant a 2021 tax abatement renewal to Ralston's LP, docket number 2020-1262-EDX. Item K, approval of appropriation ordinance for the period ending February 9th, 2021, subject to the release of HUD expenditures when funds are received. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Has it been moved and seconded? Roll call vote.
Brooks.
Yes.
Fields.
Yes.
McKnight.
Yes.
Monsell.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Moving to public hearing. Public hearing, property tax abatement. E&J Investments, LLC, City of Pittsburgh, advertised for a public hearing to be held on February 9th, 2021, at the City Commission meeting commencing at 5:30 p.m. in the City Commission room located in the Law Enforcement Center, 201 North Pine, to consider the request submitted by E&J Investments, LLC, pertaining to their new Renew Medical and Spa facility located at 2425 Bradshaw Way. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the commission. As you mentioned, this is a public hearing for a tax abatement request filed on behalf of E&J Investments for the new Renew Medical and Spa facility that just opened last fall. We're very glad to have Dr. Jackie Utsis here with us tonight. One of our more exciting projects over the last year. It's a $1.3 million investment by E&J Investments. And the property tax exemption is a commonly used economic development tool here in our community. And I want to make sure anybody watching tonight understands that sometimes when people hear property tax exemption or abatement, they think the property owner just isn't paying any property taxes at all. It really is more of a property tax freeze. The value of the property, the taxation value, is basically frozen at the pre-construction level, and it's an incentive tool because obviously when you have an investment like that, it's going to take some time to recoup those costs, and it's really a way that the city can help projects like this. Dr. Utsis has gone through the checklist that's provided by the state. The city clerk notified the other taxing entities like the county and the school district in writing, 7-day public notice in the Morning Sun. Also conducted a cost-benefit analysis that was done by Steve Robb, who's done several of these in our community, that really shows the impact of the project on all of the different taxing entities, and you've got those numbers there, numbers like over 10 years, 5 new permanent jobs, almost $3 million in new personal income, $17 million in new local retail sales, and a $1.5 million increase in the property tax base. So I asked Steve to be here tonight in case you had any questions about the cost-benefit analysis. Obviously, if there's any questions about the project itself, I know Dr. Utsis would be happy to answer those, but we do bring this to you now for the public hearing. If you approve this tonight, then Henry would draft an ordinance or a resolution for the next meeting, and then we send the paperwork on to the county and the State Board of Tax Appeals. So it's a lot of information, but with that, be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Are there any questions for Blake, Steve, or Dr. Udis?
I have a question, or I guess to make sure I understand on the summary of the cost benefits, there's a chart for each taxing entity. And it does specify what the property tax would be amount abated after 10 years. Is that an accurate way to look at those charts?
Yeah, that's what the annual taxes, Commissioner, that is what the annual taxes would be after the taxing exemption expires. This would be a 6-year exemption. In the 7th year, if there's no changes in the mill levy, et cetera, that's what the taxes would be.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions? If not, I make a motion to approve. Well, I gotta close the public hearing. I'll close the public hearing, and I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Consider the following. A contract for engineering services. Consider staff request to enter into a contract for engineering services between the City of Pittsburgh and Earls Engineering and Inspection, Inc., in which Earls Engineering and Inspection will serve in the role of city engineer on an as-needed basis to complete engineering duties for the city as an independent contractor.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. So recently, with the departure of Cameron, we've opened up the position that we do not have a full-time licensed engineer on staff, and so we are bringing forth recommendation to enter into an annual agreement for an annual period for $48,000 to utilize Pete's services. This contract requires Pete himself and not another person within his firm to attend our meetings. We feel this is a good step for us at the moment. Pete has been in business for 25 years. 28 years. And he's he has a good, outstanding relationship with KDHE and the Kansas Department of Transportation. So to be available to the staff to provide some review and documents and attend meetings, the planning, zoning, or commission meetings, and attend our staff engineering meetings, as well as anything else that we may request his services for. And that we're looking for the approval of this contract. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
I have no issues with Pete and his service, but I wonder if we might want to keep track of what we spend overall for this engineering kind of thing, and see how it weighs out against a full-time employee, to see if which way we want to go, or to make sure that we're doing this the way that best serves us.
We can do that.
And Matt, would you clarify for everyone how other engineering companies or organizations would be used?
So the other engineering firms, tonight we have Brian Coombs with Olson with us as well. We utilize, so we have a couple of master contracts for on-call services from different firms, including Pete. We utilize those firms as needed for different projects that come up with, just like reaching out to Olson for odor control study. Trans Systems did the design for the traffic signal at Quincy and Rouse. At the airport, currently that's an FAA requirement to have a 5-year, and Lochner holds that contract now. That's actually coming back up to bid again. And then Earl's did some work on Georgia and some other drainage study, and Olson's done multiple things for us as well. So, and Adler Martin holds our water model currently for our water distribution system. So when new businesses come to town, and they can run that, and then on top of that, where we used to do all the flushing before, we can now run those analytics through that water model. So we're pulling from a lot of different resources right now for engineering services, and it's kind of a good checks and balances for those systems, and gives us a lot of different resources for a second opinion, if you will. And we we greatly appreciate the services Olson brings to the city. We're having a great relationship with Transys, and they've done some real good projects for us and stuff. So that's kind of how we utilize everybody else.
Thank you.
So this contract would be for 1 year for 48,000?
Correct.
Is that how the other engineering firms we deal with, a 1-year contract?
So they are on an on-call basis. So
On-call.
we pay an hourly price to them. And so what we did for this project to get a rate set up, so you kind of had an idea of the cost, is we looked at the meeting attendance and what we utilize for some plan review and interaction with our staff. And we estimated those hours based on his hourly rate to come up with that rate itself.
Sure. Are there any other questions?
Nope, I would make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Then motion to approve and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Welcome aboard, Pete.
Thank you.
Consider the following. Item B, water treatment plant odor control study. Consider staff request to enter into an engineering service agreement with Oceans Inc. of Pittsburgh in the amount not to exceed $67,267, in which Oceans Inc. will perform an odor control study.
So last week we started with the study session of the odor control issue that we have at the water treatment plant and the future analysis, and we've asked Wilson to provide us a two-phase approach within their contract. That is an initial review of the odor control issues and the different options that are out there. They're going to give a high-level presentation of that. We've also asked them to, once they have prepared that part of it, to come back to give you the commission the findings before we proceed into the phase 2. Besides just the odor control, there is a pinch point, if you will, in our system with the aeration towers and some of the piping, and so depending on what option that may be recommended in some of the capital cost and long-term maintenance, that's why there's a divide in between the two phases to study that, to see what there might be a capital need that goes along that might fit better with a different approach than just strictly handling odor. And so this is kind of a two-phase approach. And Brian is here as well, as if you would like to answer, if there's something I can answer for you.
So how long will this study, the phase 1, take?
The phase 1 approach, I don't know if you actually put a timeline on that. but
It's 7 months.
the overall is August for the whole thing
Sure.
to be through. So probably 60, 90 days on the first wave of it.
Probably 3 to 4 months per phase.
Are there any other questions? Is there a motion to approve?
I move to approve.
Second.
Been moved to approve and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners.
Item C, partial mortgage release. Silverback Housing Development considered staff recommendation to approve a partial mortgage release for 1905 Carney Smith Court and 1829 Silverback Way, located in Silverback Housing Development, as Arvest Bank, the primary lender for the project, took first position on the loan, with the city securing a second position on the P&L property until the loan is repaid in December 2023.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the commission. As the agenda item states, in 2018, the city provided a $450,000 loan as part of the incentive package for the Silverback development. And anytime the city does that for a project, what we ask in return for the company is that they give the city second position on the property in question, but then also for the principal to sign a personal guarantee. That's security for the city for their investment. So with Silverback, as those lots now are being sold for construction, both Arvest Bank and the city, because Arvest has the first position, the city has the second, both Arvest and the city will be asked by the bank financing the construction will be asked to basically remove their mortgages, their positions on those properties, because a bank won't make a construction loan if you don't own the property outright. So we had a conversation, Darren and Henry and myself, last week on how to handle this, because we anticipate quite a few lots being sold at Silverback, and they all had that city's second position on it, and agreed that it was a good idea that each time one of these lots is sold, that we will come to you and ask you to release the city's second position. Keep in mind, we do still have that personal guarantee that Mr. Benna signed, so we do still have some security on this. But obviously, this is why we supported this project. We wanted the lots to be sold. So Labette Bank is seeking to finance a construction loan for 2 of these lots. So they are asking that the city enter into this partial mortgage release agreement that would release the city's second mortgage on these 2 particular lots. So with that, be happy to answer any questions.
I have a question. How many, these lots, are these individuals building these? This is not the Silverback building model homes. These are homes being built by homeowners.
Correct.
You have any idea how many contractors are out there building? Is it just one, or is there several contractors building? Are they selected their own?
Right now, there's the one, the easiest way to explain it, there's the one developer, which is
Gus is out there.
There's 3 different builders right
Okay.
now with 3 different banks. So I think that's good news, that it's not all in one place. And basically the discussion came down to with this, with so many different banks and not knowing who the next financer might be, it just makes more sense instead of having a blanket policy that we would just waive our position every time. We thought just to keep track of it, we'd keep bringing it in. But yeah, right now there's 3 different banks. I believe there's 3 different builders, and there were 50 contractors out there Friday when I drove through doing various trades. So now I don't think there's anybody out there today because it's so cold. But yeah, it's picked up.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
Are there any other questions for Blaze?
If there's no other questions, I move approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved to approve in a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Non-agenda reports and requests. Bi-monthly budget review. Director of Finance Larissa Bowman will provide the December 31st, 2020 bi-monthly budget review.
Good evening again, Mayor and Commissioners. I'm here tonight to give an update on how the city ended 2020. We might see a slight change in these numbers as we're still processing some 2020 bills, but I don't anticipate a very big change. With that, 2020 was a very different year, as we know. One that we didn't really expect. Early March, the pandemic hit, and we didn't really know what would happen. So the finance team, along with leadership, began to adjust the budget, not knowing what the year would hold, and we had to make some hard decisions. So let's fast forward to the end of 2020, and as you look at the spreadsheet before you, it tells the story of our community. This community weathered 2020, and it came out strong and resilient, and I contribute a lot of that to people just putting their local support into the businesses. So we ended our year with funds that are healthy, and we were still able to accomplish a lot of our projects in 2020 and still give our employees a 2% raise. So another thing that sticks in my mind for 2020 is that in March, we were anticipating sales tax to be 15% down, and it ended up being up 3.14% compared to 2019. So again, that's just a true testament of our community and how strong we are. So with that, I open it for any questions.
Are there any questions for Larissa?
I don't have any.
Thank you for your hard work, Larissa. Thanks for the report. Is there any other non-agenda reports and requests?
Yeah, we have one more. Matt and Larissa can probably walk you through it. Basically, I'll take a swing at it, but we have a sewer district on the west side of town, right at 4th Street. It's just outside the city limits that pumps waste to our plant, which is just south of there. Accounting wise, obviously, we have Larissa who used to work at the county and Matt, and we made some changes last year administratively. And lo and behold, they found out a few weeks ago that we had been overbilling the county to the tune of about $122,000 over the last 18 months. So we met with the county, asked them if they wanted to check, if they wanted to credit it back, because this is an ongoing cost that they will be incurring with the city at that pump station. To make a long story short, they got back with us this afternoon and said they would prefer to have a check, a lump sum payment, which normally we would just hold until our next commission meeting. But since Larissa just told you we're trying to close out 2020, rather than wait 2 weeks, we thought we'd bring it to you this evening to get your thoughts and hopefully get your blessings to have a check prepared. And it would be, you would see it and you would approve it today, actually, before the check was prepared, but it would be cut for 2020, right, Larissa? And if you guys have anything to add, please jump in at this point.
What was
We'd
the
be happy to
amount?
answer any
I'm
questions.
sorry, what was the amount again?
120.
122, okay,
And some change.
and some change.
So is there any questions about this?
I'm assuming that whatever caused that has been fixed.
Yes.
Yes.
It was,
I don't need to
when
know
the
that
process was changed, it was designed for the betterment of the county, and
it didn't work
lo
that
and
way.
behold, that didn't work either. And we've changed some of the process, and that's how we found it during an audit is, yeah.
Yep.
Anyways.
Well, the good news is
We found it.
We
not-
found it.
We found it.
Yeah.
They were complaining about it, and some of that was, it was also driven by the rains of the last couple of years from I&I issues, and those still exist. But during those times, we changed it basically from hour meters on pumps to using a mag meter in the flow line to better monitor the volume that was actually coming to the plant. Well, during that process, how we read the meter, there was a confusion between what my staff at the wastewater plant was reporting and what was being heard from the finance department from a gallon perspective, and so
Here we are.
hey, we're eating it. We messed up, so
The county will start paying, you'll refund the money to them,
Yeah.
but they'll start paying
they
immediately
will
on a
continue
monthly
to pay
basis,
a
so you'll
monthly
get it
bill
back
from
in a
the sewer
year.
district.
Okay,
Correct.
so, but they do start paying right away.
They'll have a January 2021.
Very
But
good.
they have been paying monthly. We just.
Yes,
okay.
yeah, they pay monthly. Yeah, we report an average gallon just like anybody else on the sewer district from that. It's kind of a weird deal because collectively the 105 plus residents plus the trailer parks, whatever that are out there for water meter connections don't get individual sewer bills. That entire sewer bill is billed through our lift station with our mag meter on that point, and then the county takes it.
So their residents pay the county and then the county pays us is
Yes,
for that bill? Okay.
correct.
Is there any further questions? So is there a motion to approve staff recommendation? Okay.
Second.
Moved and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Good job, guys.
Yep.
Is there anything else?
Just one last thing. I know it's a touchy subject, but I understand Mike Luark passed away
No.
recently. The reason I bring it up at a commission meeting is I consider Mike a friend, but more importantly, I thought it was appropriate to acknowledge it today because Mike did some unbelievable work on the public safety sales tax when we originally brought that to the community. And just every time we asked him for anything, he was on the spot. And, he lived here a long time before I got here, but I know everybody thought a lot of Mike, and I thought it was appropriate with everything that he gave to the city that we mentioned that today. So obviously our thoughts are with him and his family at this time, and just wanted to make sure they understand how much we appreciated his efforts for our community.
Thank you, Darren.
Yep.
Anything else? I have one thing I want to say to the employees. That all the hard work they've done, especially the ones that's been out in this weather, making sure we're all safe. I just want to acknowledge how much the city appreciates our city employees. And on that, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved in second. All in favor, say aye. We are adjourned.